Chapter 18. The Smart Guys. We're not trying to outsmart the smart guys. We're trying to sell bombs to the dumb guys. So said a big time killer Peabody. Trader named Mike Viranos back in 1994, according to college who walked about him to the Wall Street Journal on May 20, um, 2994. This list of potential buyers may be a little skewer toward sophisticated hedge funds which we should not expect to make too much money since a most of the time they will be on the same side of the trade as we will all be. They know exactly how things work versus buy and hold ratings buyers who we should be focused on a learn more to make incremental dollars next year. So great John Man Goldman, such salesman named fabricates Jorrell in internal emails on December 28, 2006. One, one, on one level, the creation of synthetic CDOs was the apotheosis of the previous 25 years of modern financial. They were stuffed with risks, with yet thanks to the complex probabilistic risk models developed by Wall Street quants, large chunks of them were considered of safe as treasury bonds. The Wall Street version, a lab experimented one made unlike a corporate bond backed by the asset of a corporation, or even a mortgage banking securities backed by actual mortgage. They existed solely to make complex bets of securities that existed somewhere else in the system, which, as often has not, were themselves bets on securities that existed somewhere else in the system. They had the imprimatur of the rating agencies, whose profits depend on stamping these complex bets with AAA ratings. The massively increases leverage in um, they had the imprimatur of the rating agencies, whose profits depended on stamping these complex bits with AAA ratings. They massively increased leverage in the system. They were made possible by the inventions of the credit derivatives, the most glittering innovation in finance. And their raw material, the debt upon which everything else was built, was mortgaged with often poorly underwriting subprime mortgage. The stew was now complete. On other level, synthetic CDOs were a classic example of how things never really changed on Wall Street. The sellers of synthetic CDOs had a hook finance informational advantage over the buyers, just as bond sellers had an advantage over bond buyers. Buying a synthetic CDOs was like playing poker with an opponent who knew every card in your hand. Conflicts opponent, thus buy and hold ratings basis investor. As true derivative on their dumb guys, to use my Berners-Lee's politic words, weren't necessarily less intelligent. They were simply less bungling in and hater unwilling or unable to do analysis necessary to compensate for that, stretching to get to extra gel that synthetic CDOs seemed to offer Lincoln a clear understanding of that of what they were buying there. They were the perfect willing doves. What's remarkable in hitching is that des- despite their many advantages, so many Wall Street firms, blinded by the rich fees and hawkishness of the CDO's machine, made possible adapt themselves as well. As one close observer says, there was plenty of dumb smart money. There was also some smart money that was genially smart. Chief among the smart guys was Goldman Sachs. In the aftermath of the crisis, Goldman Sachs would be scored by the press and the public and investigated by Congress, the SEC, and the Justice Department for the way it used synthetic mortgage-backed securities to advantage its own interests, often at the expense of its clients. There was something at that infrared about this focus on Goldman. Its mercenary behavior wasn't all that unique. Goldman was simply more skilled than its peer in looking out for its own interest. The firm had no grand scheme to destroy Wall Street. Its executives had no idea how bad the destruction would be. Mainly, Goldman's traders were just doing what they had always been taught to do, protect the firms at all costs. Yet somehow it was inevitable that Goldman would land on the center of the storm. The modern Goldman is attitude that was no conflict it couldn't manage. Too complex, the product too complex, and few traits the firm showed turns its back on was bound to leave a bad taste in the mouths of people who were not part of Wall Street. Other members of the Wall Street tribe often resented Goldman for the way in ran roughshod over its clients on and contemporaries, but they accepted it. It was just Goldman began Goldman.